probably never heard of the SAI before, but it's the Student Alumni Initiative. It was a small group that was set up in 2010, and the idea being that we bring students and alumni back, connecting students past, present and future. So that we can bring students and alumni back. We can bring alumni back with their experience and their connections, so that there is a way to network with alumni. There's 39,000 alumni. Why can't we be connected to them, but also have the skills before we go into the workplace?
I suppose the thing to get across is that the whole tone of this evening is kind of informal, and it's a great opportunity for you to mither us with questions. Ask as many questions as you like. It's a fantastic opportunity when we've given our talks. Noel, as we know, is a partner in Grant Thornton, so I think you're better placed to talk about that than anybody. So thank you, Noel.
Thanks, Kate. Just a small bit of background first, because we're obviously in DCU. As Kate said, I'm a partner in Grant Thornton, which is an accounting firm based in Dublin, Newbridge, Galway, and Belfast. I did the accounting and finance degree it started in 1992. So I can still remember my membership, or my student number, which was 92-011-31. So, and the reason why I do know it is because I repeated so many exams. I remember putting so many on top of the sheets, but I started in 92, I did the AF degree, and the reason why I suppose I chose Grant Thornton or DCU at the time was because I come from Portlaoise. I think it's important for everybody that the one thing I always say before I give a presentation, you always tell people where you come from, because I think it's very important to remember where you come from, and that's not only where you were brought up or where you came from, but also where you went to college. So I came to DCU. DCU at that stage, it was the first year that the business school had opened up. Where the gym and I think it's a science block is now, was the rugby pitch, and the soccer pitches were behind that, and the GAA pitch was then just beyond that again. So there's been a lot of changes since I was here in 92. I did the AF degree, and then the Masters and the MBS in the business school as well. So from that then I went to Grant Thornton. Grant Thornton is an accounting firm, as I said. And the reason why I think Grant Thornton suited me was because it was very like DCU. DCU was a very close, personal sort of a college, and it still is as far as you can see. After talking to people, it's very, very close, personal. There's a sense of community, and that's what I got in Grant Thornton. I've been with Grant Thornton 15 years now. I was made manager as soon as I got contracted. In Grant Thornton at the moment, as a partner, when we are taking on people, the one thing we do look for, I suppose, is not only when we get in their CVs, we get in the application forms. Most people will have, the same background, the same points in their leaving cert, the same courses or the same points, or 2-1 or 1-1 or whatever they are. What we look for when we're doing the actual doing the interviews is what's the person behind all those numbers? What's your life experiences? What's your work experience? Who is the real person? And it's trying to get the right fit for the people in Grant Thornton.
I'm a little bit older, I think, than that, because I was in what was originally NIHE Dublin. The year I joined was in 1981, and it was the second year that the university had come into being. And I did the communications course, which felt entirely different to any of the course that was in the university at the time. Everything else was applied science and technology and all the things that I knew very little about. But what it did mean was that in my year there were 23 students. The year ahead of us, which had been the very first year, there was maybe 20. So that was like, in fact, I went to school in Delaney, so next door to me or whatever, but I was nearly going back into a smaller environment than I was in a small school in County Leash. And just what Noel just said there, just that whole thing about really valuing the network that you would get from somewhere like DCU. I can't tell you how many times I get down on my hands and knees and thank God that I came to do communications in this university. And now I'm looking at people like Noel Kern, who's the head of RTE. I'm looking at Kevin Sullivan, who's the new editor of the Irish Times. All the people that they're my peers really. I mean, they're a lot more, they've achieved an awful lot more, but it's just incredible to think that there's something really special about DCU that I've not seen in any other university, where people make that instant connection. And I don't believe I've ever said no to any request I've had from the university. Patrick might bear witness to that, just in terms of the last few years being involved in initiatives like this. But also any CV or anything that comes to the door with DCU and communications, that leads that to me. So maybe that's a parochial way of looking at graduates, but it certainly, separates the wheat from the chaff as far as I'm concerned. First job was actually in a publishing company. Second job was with they're producing a community TV series in Limerick of all things. They were trying to experiment with cable television. It was quite innovative at the time. And then actually the third job got me as well because there was an opening in the National Youth Council of Ireland as a press officer, and I knew nothing about PR. All I wanted to do back when, Patrick has heard me say this before, I just wanted to produce the Late Late Show. That was my lifelong ambition. Sometimes I get asked, did you set up your business? I promise you I didn't. What I did do was try and earn money anywhere, and that meant covering lunch times in Bradham's. My sister's a designer, so I used to often cover her lunch breaks and sell clothes in Bradham's. Any little PR job. PR was really probably what I had most experience of at that stage. So any little PR job I would do. So in that first year or two, really what it was just living from hand to fist and applying for every job possible, including all the jobs in RTE, the researchers, the PAs, all the things, and I still couldn't get in there. So what happened really was over that period, from about 92 or 93 onwards, suddenly I needed somebody to help me, so it was about employing the first person, then it was suddenly two people. And very quickly, actually, I kind of got it into my head that, you know what, this is probably the way forward. And it was just a coincidence and it was just luck, and I think there's a lot to do with business that it depends on luck. I don't know if you agree with that or not, no, but it was just pure luck in a way that as the economy was growing here, I was trying to develop this business. And now, fast forward to whatever year we're in now, 2011, what we specialise in is consumer marketing. So it's all about working with retailers or hotels or restaurants or anybody who really wants to talk to the general consumer. And I genuinely, just better shut up soon. Just to recap what Noel said, I genuinely wouldn't be sitting here today had I not been in DCU. And in a way, even looking back on, it's probably hard for you to imagine this when you see this, uber developed university out here, but I even kind of give a little bit of thanks to the nuns that educated me in Ivy Leagues, because I can't believe they were encouraging me to come to a brand new university with a brand new course called communications. But looking back at now, you'd imagine somebody might have said, oh no, you've got to go to a real university, you've got to do a real proper course, whatever it might be. So I have a lot to thank the university for, so that's as much as I'd like to say.
That's great. And just for me, there's a couple of themes running through there, and I think, Noel, when you were talking there, it was the kind of cornerstone for your career that DCU happened to be, that it kind of brought you on. And I think the same for you, Karen.
People are applying to Thornton because myself and Pat, who should have been here, but our head of recruitment effectively from the partnership point of view, we tend to look at DCU graduates first, because we know what we're going to get. We know what we're going to get from the course, and I think the course, the business course especially, and I can't really come on the communications course, but as regards the business courses that have come across are second to none.
It's interesting just to hear the two different stories, how you went into an organisation and Caroline, you had such a kind of a pathway to get there, and I'm just interested to know how much of it do you think was it about being open to experiences in your situation, that willing to just have a go?
In truth, I've never done it. You know what, I still to this day, any new piece of business that comes through the door, clearly I would touch something that I couldn't do. So if somebody came in and said, we launched the nuclear facility over there or something, I'm going, no, that's not us. But if somebody came in and I was going, I'm not sure if it's us or not, if I was teasing it through, I'd be thinking, right, is it a new experience? Or is it something that we can learn hand to hand together? That's not to say we'd be underservicing or underselling or overselling ourselves to the client, but just, it would be a very boring life and job if you weren't open to new experiences. It was really useful just to have a vision of where you thought you might be in 5 years or 10 years. And it's not necessarily, I will be a managing partner in Grand Thornton, or I will be earning 150k a year or whatever. Just even to know where you'd like to see yourself. I think that's really important, that you know where you want to go, and probably expect to have to make a few little detours maybe along the way, but just imagine where you want to be and then figure out how to get there. Be true to yourself in a sense, do you know what I mean? In other words, don't try and pigeonhole yourself into an area because you think that's where you can earn the most money, or that's where you can rise the fastest or whatever. Find something that you'll be really happy doing, because there's the old adage about find a job that you like doing and never work a day in your life again. I can truly say, with the exception of the odd crisis or little hassle, I wake up most morning and I can't wait to get to the office, which sounds a bit sick, but it's true. As in, I really enjoy what I do, basically.
To pick up on that point, no matter what you're working at, we tend to find that you need to have pride in your work. You can see that the first day someone walks into the place. I can see it, most people can see it. Regardless of whether you're asked to do the most menial task or one of the top tasks in the office, if you have pride in your work, and we can see that, and that means that's your natural way of doing things. Well, then that's a good fit for any employer. And employers do talk. Ireland, Dublin, it's a small place. We're just talking. They say there's 3 degrees of separation worldwide. There's 1 degree of separation around. That's what it is. Everybody knows everybody, and especially you will find when you leave college that you still can hang around with the same people, or you know the same people. But the accountancy world in Dublin is tiny, absolutely tiny. You know, most of the new partners are being brought into the Big Four or whatever now. I would know them or doing college, you're behind me, and everybody knows everybody. So things that you do anywhere, could come back to haunt you, or the other side, or could come back and actually benefit you. So always be wary of that. So it's Caroline said, have a good open way of dealing with people. And that's a very, very good mantra to have.
Like the alumni office, the alumni council, in particular, Celine, Ella and Patrick. I'd like to thank our speakers, Karen, Noel and Gail.